The headline medical stories that affect you and your family. This is What's Happening in Health, sponsored by Mayfield Braden Spine.
Morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Happening in Health. We are so glad you're joining us for a great hour of hope and healing today. Starting with those who do something very unique in our community. They provide medical care to what some may call our unseen neighbors. Here from the Center for Respite Care, we want to welcome CEO Laurel Nelson. She brought a wonderful volunteer. We're going to learn a little bit more about Sister Marie Romeko. And we're going to tell you about their next mission, sort of, and what's happening in the future. We're excited about that. Plus, a special event which supports those in need of kidney care, kidney donors, and much more in our community. Perry Hall's back in the house with us today. She's with the National Kidney Foundation, and she brought with her Rick Schwab. He's going to tell us about a great event. It provides education, also helps support those in need of kidney transplants. But first, we do have a quick headline for you today. Did you know that weight around your waist stresses your spine? It can raise the risk of heart disease and stroke as well. And it's partly because it's often a signal, according to the team at Mayfield Brain & Spine, that visceral fat surrounds the organs inside the body. This is different than surface weight that does appear to be linked to sort of head and heart problems. So one way to reduce the odds of belly fat, don't skip meals. While it may seem like a simple solution, one recent study found that those who skip breakfast especially are nearly 5 times more likely to be overweight and carry weight around the waist. Researchers speculate it's because it can slow metabolism down throughout the day and then lead to late night or overeating later when you're hungrier later in the day. And now to our top story this half hour and why your skin is really giving you grief this time of year. Turns out you might really need a facial that exfoliates the face before it infuses moisture into the skin. This according to the team at the Advanced Cosmetic Surgery and Laser Center. It's sort of like there's a layer, they say, of dry skin this time of year on top of your own skin. Here's Hope Mers, and she says it's just from all the kind of inside-outside weather elements.
Because your products can't enter your pores effectively if you have dead skin buildup. So the dermaplanes, the microneedlings, we have a lot of patients that do lasers once a year to help slough off even more skin if they can't come into the offices regularly. So that's important so that your hydrators, your hyaluronic acids, your moisturizers can get into your pores and get the moisture you need.
These kinds of facials tend to cost you a couple $100s, but they last for about 3 to 6 months. If you'd like more information, 513-351-3223. In our Ask a Nurse today, flu and cold season continuing to stick around. So we ask what else we can all do to try and protect against these viruses. One of the top things, hand washing. We did that a lot in the pandemic thing, and then we kind of forgot about it. But the team at Mount St. Joseph University says it really makes a difference when you touch infected surfaces, so you don't get those germs in your body if you wash your hands. Other things you can do to boost immunity include sleep, getting a flu vaccine, getting regular exercise. The best bet to reduce the severity of symptoms, however, is always the vaccine.
Try to protect yourself. It's not too late to get vaccinated. Flu season goes at least through March, depending, on the weather to how long we're inside. And that if you do get symptoms, there are some antivirals that are available, but you need to take them within the first 1 or 2 days in order for them to really be effective.
Now, the good news in all this is that we hope we're on the decline. The CDC data right now shows the severity starting to drop. One strain of the flu is on the decline. The other one is still pretty high, tends to peak after December and January. All right, in Healthy Innovations, Miami University has been winning a lot of basketball games lately. We're kind of excited about this. We recently talked to President Greg Crawford there when he joined us earlier this year to talk about health partnerships. We kind of shared this shout out. Listen to this. Well, I applaud what you're doing. I look forward to the first interview when you measure success, and you'll come back right here and share it.
We will.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And by the way, keep up the great basketball.
We're
super excited about that.
Me too.
You have no idea.
I'm the president of a basketball school now.
We love that T.R. Gormley got that video of him celebrating with the team. This is video of the Miami Redhawks recently. The reason we're talking about this, however, isn't just because they got a great basketball team. There's a study from the National Institutes of Health which shows a community can improve health when they rally around a winning team. Researchers found it supports camaraderie, stress reduction, increased happiness. What you have are mainly shared or similar goals, a sense of belonging, and a feeling socially that you're connected to others. All right, you can help replenish our local blood supply by bringing a friend to donate. Up next, we're going to hear from our donor of the week. Plus, the Center for Respite Care offers medical care for the homeless in our area. I want to welcome Laurel and Sister Marie. So glad to have you here. We're going to talk about a new campaign to help us all support this organization. Stay with us.
This portion of What's Happening in Health is sponsored by Life Enriching Communities and Hawksworth.
Welcome back, everybody, to our donor of the week. We have a local woman who has given blood for the very first time recently. We caught up with Janet Carter at the recent blood drive downtown. She said that her mother used to give blood often, but it was a friend who actually convinced her to tag along.
Because my girlfriend Teresa, she gives blood a lot, and she says, well, come on, why don't you try this? You know, so I came for the first time today.
First-time donors desperately needed. Carter says the experience was quick, it was easy. She was glad to kind of know she could help others by donating this way. Time's running out to get this free vintage crew neck, but if you can't even make a future appointment, they really need your help right now. 513-451-0910. You also can schedule through the Hawksworth app or visit what'shappeninginhealth.com. All right, on now to our wonderful friends from the Center for Respite Care. We've had Lori on before. Remind us who you are and what you do.
I'm Laurel Nelson, CEO for the Center for Respite Care, and I just keep everything moving and everybody going.
And not a small thing, and you brought friends.
Yes, I did.
Hi there. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Sister Marie Romeco, and I volunteer twice a week visiting the clients at Respite Care.
So how has that experience been?
It's been complex, rewarding, and inspiring. Because these are people with certain hardships, and if you're caring, you know, you feel what they're up against. And I like that I'm a regular person. I've learned that this is a blessing. I don't go in with a special skill, a special offering. I'm one person to another. And so there's an equality there. And I feel that that is just life-giving for them and for me. And then what can we do? Play Parcheesi. Does anybody remember that game?
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, play Scrabble. And you know, I'm cutthroat, and so it's real. You have to really try and win here.
I love that coming from the sister. Like, it's acceptable to be competitive here. I know that. So we want to give you just a little background. This is a local care center. We do need volunteers. We need financial support because they're about to move into a new building. The Center for Respite Care right now provides medical care for those who are discharged from the hospital but don't have a safe place to call home. Emmanuel Thomas needed this kind of care after treatment for lung cancer.
I worked all my life, and I never thought I would be homeless, you know.
The team here at this Over-the-Rhine Center, he says, not only gave him a safe place to stay, but also provided for his continued medical care.
Respite, they really helped me. They helped me out a lot.
The problem, however, is that a lot of others need this kind of transitional care too. And with just 20 beds?
As much as we would love to take every single person that gets referred, that isn't always possible.
Soon, however, CEO Laurel Nelson says they hope to change this. The center recently purchased the former Uptown Arts Building in OTR. They expect to complete renovations by fall.
We are actively in the middle of a capital campaign to raise the funds necessary for us to finish our renovation and relocate with an enriched program.
With more staff and people to help clients transition, the hope is it will better meet the needs of our community.
We're holistic, so we're treating the entire client, and then at the end we're helping them find appropriate placements.
For Emmanuel Thomas, that whole person care.
Without this place, I don't know where I'd be. You know, I'll probably be dead on the street somewhere, you know.
Life-changing in a way that gives him hope, he says, for a healthy future. You know, I bet you meet people like that every time you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your mission. It's very different because people don't understand, like if you have diabetes, they want to discharge you because you had a wound care, but you can't go back to no home.
Correct.
So they get referred to you. Are you almost always full, always a waiting list?
We stay relatively full, about 80% at all times. Usually 1 or 2 beds available, but they fill up pretty quickly, and sometimes clients move on pretty quickly. So, but the average length of stay is about 60 days. And so while they're with us, we're facilitating all of their health care, providing some health care, facilitating specialty care in the community, helping them understand what is happening and why, when you need to take medication, why you need to keep all of your medical appointments, and learning about your own personal health. So that's one of our main goals. And then, of course, the case management that comes with that is finding appropriate placement, connecting with community services and with some of our partners, and being really ready for stability and independence in the community.
So what made you see a need to make a move? And I know you don't necessarily have more beds, but if you have the right team, the idea is that you can move them onto kind of that whole person community.
Correct.
care.
So our new location, while we are not going to have more capacity, is going to be much better for the client. Things we learned from COVID and just in general, that single occupancy rooms are very important. So we will have some single occupancy rooms plus double occupancy. And also one thing we learned about being in our current location, that steps are a barrier. So in our new location, we will have ground floor bedrooms, and that will allow people with reduced or inhibited mobility to access our service where we couldn't before. So we're looking very forward to providing more service to those clients.
It's always amazing to me, it's always a learning curve, but that those little things, you just don't realize these steps really matter. So I know there's a number of ways we can support you. One of them is volunteering, and you're telling me I need no special set of skills, except Scrabble maybe. But I always wonder, there's a saying like when you donate blood or you volunteer, you sort of get when you give. Was that your experience as you've sort of stepped up to say, I'm just gonna be a friend?
Yeah, you would expect Catholic sisters to love their neighbor because we do follow what Jesus teaches. But we like people. We like the people at respite care. So there is an enjoyment in the mutuality. Yeah.
I thought the most telling thing you just said is there's continuity for you and for them, because think about it, when you're homeless, think about what your life is. It's not going to have consistent friends or people. It might be a place that you can hang out, but you don't necessarily have that person that you trust one-on-one that's there. What a wonderful thing. All right, so we're just winding down. Tell me how we can help. Where's the money? What does it go to? How do we give? That kind of thing.
So we are in the middle of our capital campaign. We're very close. We just have a little ways to go. And we're raising funds to complete our renovation, to increase staff, the number of staff and also the skill set of staff to provide more enriched services. So anybody can go to our website and look for information about just general donations, but also donating to our capital campaign, which is our greatest need right now.
Have you had good community support?
Absolutely. So this whole situation is made possible by one very, very wonderful, generous donor who kicked off our capital campaign with a very large gift that allowed us to make the purchase of the building outright. So we got to pay cash for our building, and that is going to be a huge difference maker for us once we're operating there.
Oh, I love hearing that. You know why? Because you have her praying.
Yes, absolutely.
Take all the credit you can. All right, we will put links to that. We'll continue to put this out there. We're grateful every time we can tell a story of those you've helped. It's been just amazing to follow you from way back when we had a little place to see this growth. Can't wait to share the next steps.
Yeah, thanks, Liz.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for stepping up. All right, coming up, Waiting for Life, we call it, how you can help a local woman or a local man who's in need of a new kidney. And we welcome our guest, speaking of kidney. Perry Hall, the National Kidney Foundation, is here with Rick. He was honored for his work with the organization. We're going to tell you about an event we can all attend to help this great cause. It's next on What's Happening in Health.
This portion of What's Happening in Health is sponsored by Miami University, the Vein Center of Cincinnati, and Lindner Center of Hope.
In Waiting for Life today, helping a local man who needs a kidney. Terry Ross has chronic kidney disease. He's been on dialysis for the past 4.5 years. The process takes 4 to 5 hours a day, and he has to go at least 3 days a week. And this time, he says he'd rather be spending with his family, including his stepdaughter Ashley and his grandchildren. Ross needs a living kidney donor if possible, and says he is so exhausted from dialysis.
So I'm there for approximately 5 hours. Basically, it's a part-time job. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful for it. It does keep me alive. It cleans my blood.
Dialysis will clean the blood, but it's about a full-time job, as he said, being there several days a week. If you'd like to learn more about the process of becoming a living kidney donor, he would love to have you call the Christ Hospital, 513-585-1440. All right, well, we thought that's a wonderful transition into people who know a thing or two about kidneys. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Perry Hall, and I am the Senior Development Director at the National Kidney Foundation here in Cincinnati.
And you have a wonderful story. We've had the privilege of following it for a while now.
Yes.
You had your first kidney transplant when?
2011.
And the second one?
2023.
And she had an itty-bitty baby.
In between.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. Let's just tell people what the Kidney Foundation does. You have a very specific mission, which we love.
We do. It's a very broad spectrum, but we try to offer services and education to the general population, as well as patients who are going through CKD. We also do advocacy work, and we train professionals on different diagnosis.
So what's so interesting, you say CKD, that's chronic kidney disease, is that so much of what hurts your kidneys is silent. That if you are not out there telling people or checking blood pressures or saying, has anyone ever run a urine test on you to find out? No one does.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes. And mostly those people are seeing a doctor annually, and they're getting the labs run, but it's not brought to their attention until it's far too late.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a little off, but oh, it must be fine, they didn't call me.
Correct.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know what you were looking at.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And you brought friends. Tell us about you.
Rick Schwab. I'm retired, and I'm also a kidney transplant recipient.
So tell me about your journey.
In my early 20s, I was diagnosed with kidney disease. Again, it was a simple test that I didn't know anything about. I felt fine. And within a very short period of time, I was in end-stage renal failure and had to go on dialysis. My dialysis was 3 times a week, 4.5 to 5 hours a time at Christ Hospital. And I was just married. We were celebrating our first anniversary, and I was on dialysis. And we were sitting in a doctor's office, and the doctor told us that without a transplant, I probably would not survive another year. And with a transplant, if it was successful, we could expect 5, maybe 7 years with a transplanted kidney. I come from a large family, and several of my siblings agreed to be tested, and one sister, Beth, came back a perfect match. So, and she agreed, and we had the surgery at Christ Hospital on January 4th, 1983.
Oh my goodness.
So to save everybody from the math, this past January is the 43rd anniversary of my transplant.
No way, with the same kidney.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
43 years in counting.
So is that about you, a miracle, her, the match, or do we know?
A little of everything.
Yeah.
I believe the grace of God, our faith, the power of prayer, and the excellent care that we received from the beginning at Christ Hospital.
Yeah. Well, there's a testament to what you do.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Part of the reason we have you here is that to share this education, you need to be able to go in the community. You need supplies, you need volunteers, you need money.
Correct.
And so you have this really cool fundraiser that everyone loves to go to each year. We have a little bit of some pictures of it, but tell me about Dining with the Stars.
Yeah, so Dining with the Stars is happening at Rheingeist Brewery on March 11th, and it brings local chefs and restaurants together with local celebrities. And we come out and have a great time, and then there's an awards presentation. Rick was the recipient with his wife Amy last year for being a wonderful volunteer. And it's just a great evening to raise funds and awareness.
I will tell you that you pick some awesome chefs. Like having been there, the food is fabulous. Yeah, tickets are very reasonable, that kind of thing. But I know that these grassroots efforts, we'll get 200-300 people, make a huge difference. Where does the money go? How do you use it?
They do. Really, it's spread across hosting more events. So we also host walking golf. And then we also do Your Kidneys and You programs. We do Your Kidneys and Youth in the schools, as well as other educational health fairs, those types of things.
All right, and we have a really fun graphic, so let's remind people it's March 11th. You can still sign up. It's
Yes.
kind of a nice, fun, like stand-up event, not real formal or stuffy, which
Yes.
we all love.
Yes.
And I'm curious, could you make it without volunteers like him?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm only one person.
Right.
So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have steady and true, dedicated volunteers.
Yeah. So why do you volunteer?
To give back. For so many years, we were so blessed, and still are blessed, and it's important to us to give back to the community, to give back to the National Kidney Foundation for what they've done to us, or for us, and it's rewarding to see the people, how appreciative they are, to be in places that we've been in before ourselves, and to perhaps be the face of hope for somebody.
Boy, that's really true. If I had people who were just starting on the journey, I'd send them to you,
Yes.
knowing that you could be this, you could have this miracle too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course, we always need people to remember that living donors matter. If you choose to be an organ donation or an organ donor, even deceased, please tell your family your wishes. I tell people that because you forget. They're not going to go against your family's wishes if that all happens. So what you do matters. We're grateful. We're going to put the word out about March 11th. We'll be there.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And by the way, my sister Beth,
Yes.
the donor, she and her husband live in Florida, and she's doing fine.
Oh, see, that's important to state because people
Yes.
often say, well, what about the donors?
Yes, she's doing fine.
Good to know. Yeah. And you got a little piece of her everywhere you go.
Yes.
That's great. I don't, you always say, you got to love your brother, but man, that's love.
For sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, thanks, guys. Just ahead,
Thank you.
we call it healthy diversity, how women may present differently than men when it comes to heart health. And in our next half hour, from Black Women Cultivating Change, we share a powerful message about our mental health. Can't wait to do that with both Sonia and Sandra. Stay with us here on What's Happening in Health.
This portion of What's Happening in Health is sponsored by Network for Hope and William E. Hesch Law.
In Your So Vein, part of the team from the Cincinnati Vein Center joined us this past week for our Veterans Health and Resource Fair.
Sometimes you get symptoms of venous insufficiency, which is a condition of poor circulation that tends to slow you down.
Dr. Andy Hearn, just one of the dozens of medical providers helping veterans and family members learn more about good health and especially good leg vein health. Others had a chance to come out and learn about transportation, benefits, mental health support, and even how to get temporary financial help if needed. If you did miss this vein screening, by the way, Dr. Hearn's team will provide free virtual screening. You can check in with them online or you can call 513-232-2400. In Healthy Diversity today, the team at the Tri-Health Heart Institute reminding us this Heart Month that women often present with different heart symptoms than men. The team that handles heart rhythm disorders talked to us recently about how, especially in those with heart rhythm problems, you may not mirror a man if you're a woman. Here's Dr. Ann Canterbury.
In general, I always tell patients, certainly heart racing or skipping beats, that palpitation feeling is kind of the classic that we think about. But there can also be other ones that are a little bit harder to pinpoint, things like decreased energy, fatigue, trouble breathing when you're exerting yourself. Those things, along with many other heart problems, can be a sign of a heart rhythm issue.
Well, since that sounds like half of us, she says talk to your primary care doctor. Ask him what to do if you have these symptoms. They can refer you for the next steps and to a cardiologist if needed. All right, just ahead, social media and your mental health. New study reveals why too much screen time may be a problem, at least for college students. Plus, our wonderful artist, Brent Billingsley, is back. He brought team members. We're so glad to have you here. And he did a special dedication for those of us at Local 12 this week. We're going to have a big reveal coming up. We are so grateful for your healing through art with us. We'll share it in our next half hour on What's Happening in Health.
The headline medical stories that affect you and your family. This is What's Happening in Health, sponsored by Tri-Health.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our second half hour. Thanks for staying with us here on What's Happening in Health. Ahead, taking care of your mental health. We're going to share how a local organization is breaking down barriers to care. And from that organization, we welcome the team from Black Women Cultivating Change. Sandra Wright, Sonia Wells. They're going to tell us why getting the care you need is very important to your overall health and well-being. And last week, we lost sadly, a wonderful team member here at Local 12. James Harrison was our health photojournalist and a beloved member of our family. And here to help us remember James today, we want to bring back Brent Billingsley. We know him as Mr. B the artist. He has a team of artists with him. They did something really special to help us heal, and we'll share it coming right up. But first, this week, Local 12 teaming up with the Tri-Health Heart Institute for a special called All Heart. As part of this new special, we will share new research on technology, such as the ECMO that supports the body when your heart can't.
ECMO is a temporary pump support system that allows patients that have failing hearts or lungs or a combination of both to be supported while their heart can recover or get the adequate therapy that they need.
Most commonly, it's used in patients after a heart event or heart surgery, Dr. Eric Oakham told me. Or this patient had a pregnancy complication that required it. It essentially supports the heart.
So the rest of the organs, while the heart is recovering, still can sustain life.
The Tri-Health Heart Institute team says this technology becoming more common in larger cities.
But there are very few places in rural areas throughout the country that do these. So these bring in patients that have these type of problems that can't be dealt with in a rural setting.
We are lucky to have that. We'll be talking about this and so much more. All Heart airs Saturday, February 28th at 7 right here on Local 12. In Hope You Know today, which is what we hope you know each week about your mental health, college students who spend hours on social media much more likely to say they are lonely. A study published in the Journal of the American College Health found that more people used social media, and the more they did that, the lonelier they felt. The heaviest social media users are 38% more likely to feel isolated from others, but researchers say they are not sure whether the social media use leads to loneliness or vice versa. In your Healthy Rights today, funding for medical research continues to thrive, at least at the University of Cincinnati. In total, UC says they've received $346 million in research awards in 25, and that is an increase, about 6% from 24. Funding also did go up for clinical trials, both in industry-sponsored awards as well as federal-sponsored awards. Universities celebrating the results despite the challenging national landscape for funding in both higher education and research. All right, just ahead, why hearing problems could be a warning sign of another medical problem as we age. We explain just ahead, and listen to this. And our guests from Black Women Cultivating Change. They're going to help us focus on our own mental health. Can't wait to hear more from Sonia and Sandra coming up next. Sandra coming up next on What's Happening in Health. And listen to this. A new study provides more insight on the link between hearing loss and cognitive decline. Researchers in China say they found people with certain types of age-related hearing loss did score worse on memory and brain function tests. Studies suggest that protecting your hearing can help improve the health of your brain. And researchers say doctors may be able to identify signs of dementia earlier by testing a person's hearing. All right, on now to a wonderful team here from an organization called Black Women Cultivating Change. We've met you, but we've not met you, so let's start here. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, I am Sonia Wells. I am the Vice Chair of Black Women Cultivating Change. I'm also a board-certified family nurse practitioner and happy to be here.
So what is Black Women Cultivating Change?
Black Women Cultivating Change is a 501c3 nonprofit that was founded by the beautiful Ashley Glass in 2022, and we are here to debunk the stigma against mental health in the Black community.
So I thought that was interesting, and we've met Sandra Wright because she is a heart transplant survivor. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
How many years out?
8.
8 years. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that journey, because it was quite a journey for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a pleasant journey, quite miraculous, and just very grateful and thankful to be here. Haven't had any rejection or infection, and continue to live and thrive.
And what was going on with your heart when they told you that you needed a new heart?
congestive heart failure. And so it worsened due to me going immediately into denial. So, you know, I learned a very valuable lesson with that. If the circumstances don't take you out, denial will, because you won't follow the path you need to.
So that's so interesting that you would say that. We have a little video of you because you now have an exercise routine and you change some of your eating habits and all that. And I think when we think of our own health, those are the things that we think about. But several times you've been here and we've talked about the physical thing, and you've said there's something going on in families, especially Black families, where we don't talk about the fact that mental health is health. So when you said, I'm teaming up with this organization, tell me why that's your mission.
It's our mission because I believe that the community deserves true people, authentic, hardworking experts to come into the community, boots on the ground, and do the work.
Okay, so what's interesting is you have this organization, you send us some photos of different people, but I remember you saying to me, we keep it in the family. That's what gets said. So we don't talk about this. So what are you trying to do? How do you reach people? What's the message you want them to receive?
Yeah, we team up with behavioral health organizations, healthcare organizations, and we take the information to the community. So we do tons of community programming and events, and we go right to where the patients and the community are.
So what is it about you feel like in the Black family that keeps repeating this cycle? Or is it teaching? Is it culture?
I think it's culture. I think it's culture, and I think some of the things that we've been through just in life that we keep things kind of quiet. But time has shown that we need to talk about these things, and we need to share it with our family and our coworkers and the community so that we can heal.
So physical problems definitely influence your mental health, like when you're trying to recover from that. So what made you want to team up with them?
Because I watch them and the work that they're doing, and it's primarily the same thing that I was doing, but you know, tackling it single-handed. And it was like, wait a minute, let me make a smart move here. And so joining up with them has been the delight of my soul. Because I love what they're doing. And the other thing about our community, they're more apt to trust someone who looks like them. And so just very excited about being with these women.
That's an interesting thought, because I know as a nurse practitioner, you know, people will often say, I do want a provider that looks like me. I want them to understand things about my culture.
Absolutely.
So how do you start this conversation when you know it's probably not real comfortable?
Yeah, I think you just have to be true to who you are, and I think examine our own biases and then lead from that space.
But what does that mean? What do you ask them as a provider? What do you want women to say? You know, how do I ask about it? A few things like that.
Yeah, I think I always tell my patients too, you know, it's great if you can get a provider that looks like you, but often it's not enough to go around. So you have to develop relationships with allies. And if you can connect with the person and they understand and you feel heard, that's a good fit.
And so same thing with your mental health then? You want those questions to come up just like your physical health ones?
Yes, because your mental is just as important as your physical, just as important as your spiritual, just as important as your emotional.
Yeah. What do you find the biggest barrier is in Black families?
Knowledge.
Just nobody talks about it, so nobody knows about it, so nobody thinks anything happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have a wonderful mission. We're going to put links and let people know about you. You also have an event coming up at the end of March, and it's just a virtual event. I love that because it's very gracious. You know, if you don't want to interact with people about your mental health, you can just listen. It's called Leading the Change. It runs March 31st, 7 to 8. You can register, no cost. We're going to have you back. We hope that people are starting to know you're out there, and this is an acceptable conversation because it saves lives. Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, your physical strength could be the key to healthy aging. We're going to tell you why just ahead. And look who's in the house, artist Mr. B, here with his team. We're going to bring in our team and share a little bit more about how he's helped the Local 12 family remember our colleague, James Harrison. Stay with us.
This portion of What's Happening in Health is sponsored by Northern Kentucky Audiology.
So So welcome back, everybody. We have a wonderful crew in here. This is part of our Local 12 team. And if you've been hanging out with us the last few weeks, you know we lost our wonderful friend and photojournalist, James Harrison. For a couple decades, he has been the person behind all our wonderful health news. And several months ago, we had the privilege of starting to follow Brent Billingsley's cancer journey. I want to show you a photo because he is a walking miracle. When we first met you, you were getting ready for Blink and kind of ignoring your own health, and you got busy. And that was his tumor on his throat.
That was.
He lets me share that because literally doctors have saved your life. How are you?
I am very well. I'm very well. I'm here. I'm strong, and God is good. So
we pray every time there's a PET scan. Things are good right now. You got that little sexy voice
I got
thing
the old Satchmo thing going on. I'll take it. I'll take me some Satchmo. Y'all hear that? Let's go.
So you, for many of our wonderful cancer survivors, you started giving back and doing what?
Yeah, so part of my healing, part of my testimony is that, man, God got me through this. So my reasonable service is to love on people with my similar circumstances artistically. And I know firsthand, working in psychiatry, how much art heals. And prime example, this team, I mean, the way that they loved on each other and told stories.
So let's show people that. We have this wonderful time lapse. Thank you to our wonderful Local 12 team that put this together. So you said, I'm willing to share my artwork. And he came in at Local 12. So watch this. Talk us a little bit through. You kind of came up with an idea, and then what happens?
Okay, so I said, we have to love on this man. So I said, let's capture him doing what he does best, and that's smiling. And I wanted to incorporate the Local 12 color scheme. In the background in the blue are a bunch of images from when he started at Local 12. They go back 40-something years up until recently. So it's important for us to incorporate the journey as far as retrospectively and to what's happening now. And part of what we do is to include you guys in the process of the painting. So me and my team, we come, we map it out, then we engage you.
It was totally fun. There was a good vibe up there. We didn't know what to expect. And I was so stunned. So I'm going to have you show our team and present to our wonderful general manager, Franco, here, the final result, because a lot of us didn't get to see it. We just saw the work along the way. Thank you.
Everybody ready? Everybody ready? All right, clap it up, clap it up. All right, Franco. Here is.
Oh my goodness, look at
final
this.
Results of our image.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
And we did this yesterday in 4.5 hours. We started it and we finished it as a team. As a team. As a Local 12 team, pun intended.
Got it. So this is the gentleman that we're going to present it to our wonderful general manager. Were you just like shocked at his talent?
This is wonderful. Brent, thank you. Liz, it's a privilege and an honor to accept this beautiful portrait of James, our friend and colleague, 45 years at Local 12. The impact that he has made on the Local 12 family here, part of this family, just a small portion of it over that 45 years, but also the community. And that impact that he's had is going to live in memory when we walk by this portrait. For years and decades to come. So thank you, thank you, and thank you, team, for helping with this. Thank you so much.
It was so healing. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And I think it takes a lot when you have your own pain, and that's why it felt like important to share this as you. So thanks for stepping out on the days that it's hard. I know you didn't feel like eating and didn't feel like getting out of bed, and you did this anyway. And look at
Liz, you love on me so much. I'm serious, man. See, what y'all don't know is this woman will text me early in the morning and say, how are you doing? I'm like, it's Liz, and it's 4 o'clock. I'm doing great. And how come you're not sleeping? But I usually be like on my way to the gym, and thank you for that. And I'm talking about for like the last 9 months, you genuinely have shown concern for me, and that means a lot to me.
I was genuinely concerned when I saw that, and we needed to get milkshakes and ice cream and all that. I am so glad you're doing well. Thank you for your help. Thank you to all of you for just painting part of it. And you know what I didn't quite expect was how healing it was. I guess you're used to that?
Oh man, well Sarah can attest, this is my lead artist, Sarah. This hit different. We had a vibe going, we had some grooving music.
Absolutely.
And the people just
They
love.
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, this hit different. This was healing for me, and it always is.
Mm-hmm.
But because I know him, and then people started telling stories, I was like, this is.
It was wonderful to see people come up and like offer to paint with us. Sometimes we kind of have to cajole folks, but like half the staff was here and they were really adamant, like, I want to put my piece on this. I want to contribute. And that meant a lot, just as somebody who is just coming in for the first time to see this stuff. It was a wonderful experience.
Because you're part of the whole, and what we do well is we have people be a part of something bigger than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody touched it.
Well, this was our first real health show without James, and I can't think of a better way. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Absolutely.
I feel like this was just the perfect honor for him.
Yeah.
And we're grateful. If you want to join us, we have services coming up at Crossroads. We'll have information online about that. Brent, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for making this happen. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tam.
We'll be right back. Absolutely.
This portion of What's Happening in Health is sponsored by Mount St. Joseph University and Advanced Cosmetic Surgery and Laser Center.
Welcome back, everybody. I want to remind you that cases of the flu are still elevated nationwide, according to the CDC, but there are some things you can do to help reduce your odds of infection.
The good news is that this may help reduce the severity of some cases of this viral illness. The CDC reports influenza A, or H3N2, has been linked to the deaths of more than 60 children nationwide this season so far.
This can lead to increased work of breathing or respiratory distress, pneumonia, and even in some cases, inflammation in the brain or encephalitis.
This year's flu vaccine does appear to reduce severe complication risk. And it's not too late to get it, Dr. Felicia Skaggs-Huan told me. She's with Ohio's Cincinnati Children's Hospital. But a Mayo Clinic report also found a few nutrients can help fight infection as well, both from viral illnesses and long-term chronic disease. Kroger Director of Nutrition Laura Brown told me their nutrition team gets asked a lot about these immune-boosting nutrients.
So that's a hot topic right now, immune health. The reality is, in order to have a strong immune system, you need to be thinking about it year-round. You can't just wait until you get sick to think that you can superpower your immune system.
So start now, she says, and load up on micronutrients. This report recommends iron found in fortified grains, vitamin A in orange vegetables such as carrots, vitamin C in citrus fruits, vitamin D in dairy foods such as milk and yogurt, vitamin E found in nuts, and zinc found in meats.
Those phytonutrients, those antioxidants, are really powerful disease-fighting nutrients that help you to feel great, help you to decrease your chronic disease risk, and help you to look fabulous.
And by the way, Laura says you can't put those in a pill. They're in the flavors, colors, textures of foods, so you got to eat the foods to get them. All right, in Aging Gracefully today, for older women, more muscular strength can lead to a longer life. Study published in JAMA tested the strength of women ages 63 and older by measuring their grip strength and how fast they could stand up from a chair. They found women with more muscular strength lived longer, even if they were not exercising enough. The findings suggest that maintaining strength is key to healthy aging. And older Americans with cumulative lead exposure may have a higher risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. That's according to a new study from the University of Michigan School of Public Health. Researchers found 18% of new dementia cases in the U.S. may be linked to lead exposure. Most adults in the study were born before 1980, a time when environmental lead exposure was much higher from the things such as gasoline and paint. Well, it is a cancer impacting more and more young adults. Cases of colorectal cancer continue to rise across the country. Over the past 2 decades, its death rate has risen by more than 1% every year. Experts say that there are 5 warning signs people often ignore: abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, constipation, weight loss, and fatigue.
young people should not ignore any symptom that they find unusual, and that if they see their physician and they're told they're too young to have a problem, they probably need to see somebody else.
One doctor says about half of colorectal cancer deaths in young adults do range from the ages of 45 to 49. It's one of the reasons they lowered the recommendation for screening from age 50 to age 45. New research challenges the effectiveness of intermittent fasting. A study found that the popular weight loss trend was no more effective than other dieting plans in helping people who are overweight drop pounds. Study's authors say intermittent fasting may be a reasonable option for some people, but the hype really doesn't justify people actually using this for weight loss. New study shows how widespread usage of more over-the-counter prescription medications continues to rise in the United States. The results are published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. They show that nearly 2/3 of adults used over-the-counter prescription drugs in the past week, or prescription drugs in the past week. 16% of people say they take more than 5 different medications. 3% take more than 10. All right, we want to thank you for just sharing your week with us. We want to leave you with a special dedication to James. He was part of this show from its very beginning. It's been almost 7 years now. So we are grateful, James, for everything you did for us. To his family, we love you. We're going to be back same time next week. We hope that you will be too. Until then, everybody, stay well and stay tuned.